Welcome to Mercy's Designs. My name is Mercy and I demonstrate Stampin' Up! Products. Today I would like to show you this really cute fun fold card. It's called a CornerTuck fold, and as you can see it can open up and then you can tuck the little corner under this little corner piece. So this is a super easy fun card to make, not at all complicated. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you how to make the fold, and then we'll be doing a little stamping and completing the card. So let's get started. I have already cut and scored this paper, and this is 11 by 4 1/4, and I've scored it at 5 1/2. So that part is very standard. What we're going to do next is we're going to just chop off 3 inches. So I'll back this out a little bit. So I am just going to take 3 inches off. And that is all the cutting for that part that needs to be done. But for the corner tuck, I did want to show that. And so what you'll need is a piece of DSP and cardstock. So this DSP that I'm using is the, let me look, Texture Chic. So this measures just under 2 inches. It is 1 7/8 by 1 7/8. And then this little piece of DSP is 1 3/8, I believe. No. Yeah, that's 1 5/8. I'm sorry, 1 5/8 by 1 5/8. I will have all the measurements in the description, so you can definitely go by that too. And look at that. So I'm just going corner to corner. So we are now done with the trimmer. And then what you're left with is enough for 2 of them. I'm going to set the one aside and we will just use this one. So of course this part, you're just simply adhering it together, matting it, and I got a little bit much on there, but it'll be okay if I'm careful. A little bit too much glue is too much, but I'm good. Okay, so now we have a piece like that. Now in order to avoid confusion down the road, make sure you just use tear and tape, and you don't want it seeping. So let's say you kind of forgot and just added a bunch of glue, that would be a problem. But if I go ahead and add the tear and tape here, which I will, you're going to have less likely to make a mistake down the road. So there we go, one piece, and then we're gonna just add here another piece of tape. And then our corner tuck is ready to go. So to complete the making of the card, the base, I will go ahead and do that. So you just want to burnish this, and then you're going to need some pieces of DSP. Now I do have these instructions, which I am following along, but I will also put that in the description. So the DSP that I will be needing would be this little piece, and this is 2 inches by 3 3/4, and then it's matted another 1/4 inch larger. So this would be 2 1/4 by 4 1/4 by 4 inches. So I just need to mat this. Now with the first one I used the gold in my example, but this one I really love this, like kind of a shabby chic look. It's really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. So I do like using liquid glue because if I need to get a little better placement, it's super easy. So what I'm going to do here now is just put this on, and then we're going to add our inside layer before we add the next part. Okay, so here is our inside piece. Now I will speed this one part up where I'm going to add the speckle. So but it's super quick. And I'm using a stamp from the Daffodil Daydream. So now we will finish assembling this base and then do a little bit more stamping. So now I'm just taking the backing off my tear and tape and going ahead and adding this. And I'm just using my white paper inside layer as my guide on where to place this. So super easy. And because I use tear and tape, I know that I did not go over. So now we have this sheet. So what I like to do here is just center it. So I'm looking at it, and to make sure I don't go over with my glue, I'm just adding a few tick marks here. And then I'm going to add my glue and put that in place. So one idea, one suggestion is to put your tuck in here, especially when you're decorating. You could do this now, or you can wait till after you've added this. But you do want to do it before you decorate it for sure. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it now. So let me make sure that's centered. Yeah, I think that's, ooh. I think it, well, actually, I think it could be over here a hair. So I'm a perfectionist, so if you don't care so much, then just have fun with that. Okay, so the next part is to decorate the card. And this part I will speed up. I do use my Stamparatus. And the other thing I definitely want to note is that I am using soft suede ink. So this will make it much more shabby chic than if you use the typical black. So sit back and I will do some stamping. So I have decided that I would go ahead and start the coloring process just so you wouldn't have to sit and watch the whole thing. So if you want it a little bit more dramatic, normally I color the dark shaded parts and then do the light. But with this particular one, I reversed it. So I will just show a little tiny bit of this for the coloring, just so you're not too bored and we can get this tape done. Okay, so first thing I did use the brush end. One of the things you definitely have to keep in mind is if you're using the brush end, don't go straight down. Do it from a side. You will actually get a little better control, but more importantly, you're not gonna ruin your tip. So I am using light Petal Pink to color this. And as you can see, I already colored most of it. So I'm just not even worrying too much, just scribbling basically here to finish off coloring. So it looks very peachy here, but what is amazing is when I bring in the light Flirty Flamingo, the colors start blending and it looks much more pink. Just adding a little bit of that light Flirty Flamingo. It kind of is pretty astounding. And sometimes you have to even give it a little time. It gets more intense. So that is what it looks like, colored. And again, it kind of will blend a little better in a minute. Now I have the dark So Saffron, and that's where I just colored like this, scribbled. Yeah, real complicated, right? And then these little airy flowers, all I did is just color over them. So nothing too complicated again. I'm not a great colorist. I wish I learned more, but the artist really did all the work here to make it really beautiful. So this one you could use the brush in again. This is the light, soft Succulent, but using the nubby end, you do have a little better control. Yeah, especially for doing tiny pieces like that, the stem. And then again, I'm just doing the same technique. I'm just adding some dark here and there. And one of the things I wasn't doing is doing a line down the center, because it just looks too obvious then. I think that then kind of destroys the look. Okay, so now we are done with the coloring and we can continue assembling the card. Isn't that just gorgeous? This is a beautiful, beautiful stamp set, the Cottage Rose. I'm so happy to have it. Okay, so here is our card base that we have ready, our fun fold. And I will speed up a few parts where I'm adding dimensionals. So now basically what I'm going to be doing is doing kind of a dry layout initially. So I know I want this not to be tucked under here, but I will want it to kind of rest under that. And I kind of wanted this leaf to come out between here. So I'm just going to position it such that it will allow all that. So actually I want it a little lower, because again, I want this to kind of tuck up under it. It just looks more cohesive. So I'm not pushing down on there intentionally, because I do have to get this up and our other little die cut leaf. So this one I'm just going to slide up here. Ooh, did I get it on the, yeah, I kind of got it a little bit here, because that's going to be hanging off. We definitely want to be careful not to get glue on these two. I wasn't super careful about that, but I think I'll be okay. Okay, so there. So it just cascades down. Isn't that lovely? And then we're going to add this part, and I think this sentiment is absolutely beautiful and could be used for a lot of different reasons. Like, you could make this a birthday card, a kind of a thinking of you, a thank you, of course, a lot of things. And sometimes it's nice to have a little bit open-end cards, and you can just kind of in the inside then really capture the true meaning of what you're trying to convey, whether it be a birthday or thank you or the such. So I'm just using a little bit of my glitter glue, and that's because I do not want to get it to be shiny, and the glitter glue dries clear. So that's why I sometimes use that. Okay, so then I just tuck that up in here, and I think the last thing we need to do is add our pearls. And I really thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions or stamping needs, please email me at mewants3@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to help you place an order with the host code or answer any questions. You can, of course, also leave a comment. I always like hearing those. And of course, please leave me a thumbs up and subscribe. Okay, so then our little pearl there, and our card is complete. And I'll just show you how the tuck works. It opens up, and I did color these the same sort of way as I did the front, and it's a stamp that is exactly like that, so it looks like this. I just didn't want to take the time to do that coloring as well. Thank you again for watching, and happy stamping.